Hey everybody, Rick the IT guy here. Uh, Today we need to talk about port security, the security fundamentals, section 5.7. So let's just hop right on into it. You can imagine why, the many reasons why we would need port security. Now, access to the router and the switches may be restricted. However, access to that wall port is more readily available. And so we as administrators need to utilize and enable port security. So we have PC1 in our lab here and PC2 connected to each one their own port respectively, 1 and 2. And we need to enable port security. So let's go on to the switch and let's do that, because we don't want a rogue laptop just to be able to plug in and to be able to do, ARP spoofing or DHCP exhaustion attacks. We need to protect against that. All right, so on the switch, let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to just enable, and we're going to go to global configuration mode, CompT, and we're going to do an interface range. Range of fast Ethernet 0, 1 through 2. And then we are going to do switch port, port security to turn it on. Okay, the command is rejected, and that's because these are dynamic ports. We cannot have a dynamic port. We have to make it an access port. So we know how to do that. So we're going to say switch port, mode, access, and then we're going to switch port, access, VLAN 1. All my ports are in VLAN 1, so we're going to utilize VLAN 1, VLAN 1. Okay, so now we should be able to enact switch port port security. All right. Once we've enabled switch port security, we need to make sure, and I'm just tab completing that, putting a question mark there just to show what all is available to me. We need to only allow, in this topology, only one device per port. So the maximum I'm going to allow is going to be 1. And then I'm also going to do MAC address, and I'm going to make it a sticky MAC so that the device that's plugged in, it's going to dynamically learn that MAC address. And if that MAC address is not plugged into that port will do something. It can either shut down, it can be restricted, and there's one other, but we'll look and see what that is. And we're going to say sticky. I believe are the MAC address sticky. Yeah. MAC address sticky. And then we're also, like I said, if there is a violation, then what do we want to do? We can either protect it, restrict, or shut it down. And in this topology, we're just going to restrict it. It's not going to work. So I'm going to say restrict here and control zip. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to send a ping across. I'm going to ping these so that the switch will learn those MAC addresses from these machines. So I'm going to ping 10.1.1.2, and that works just fine. And then I'm going to go over to this PC and I want to ping back across to 1. PC1. On the other machine, did I say 2 or 1? I did. Okay. So now that switch has learned the MAC address of these 2 PCs. So let's go take a look at that. Let's do a show switch port. I think it's just show port security interface. And I'm going to say fast access 01. And you see port security is enabled. Secure up means that it's up and running. And the violation mode is just restrict. So that's good. And it did learn this MAC address. Okay. And only is going to learn one MAC address. That's 20DE:1. So let's take a look and see. .20DE. That is the MAC address of this particular device. So what's going to happen now? And it also learned. Let's look at the other port, the other MAC address of PC2. A476. A476. It's enabled, secure up, restrict, and it's only going to learn one MAC address. And so let's close this out. A476. If I can get my mouse to work here. A476. Very good. So it learned those. So what's going to happen now if a rogue laptop is plugged into that port? It's going to restrict it. So let's just move this down to this laptop. And you notice fast access 02 is turned red here. Let's just try to ping PC1. .1.1.1. What's going to happen? It should time out. Now, everyone knows unless we do a -T on a ping for a continuous ping, or we tell it the number of pings we want, it's going to ping 4 times. It's going to make that attempt 4 times. And we can go back to the switch and we'll see what happens. 100% loss. So let's go back to the switch. And let's take a look at what this looks like. Look, the security violation count is 4. It picked up another MAC address that it did not like. It was not the one that was stuck to this port. And so it's dropping those packets. The way to re-enable this port is that you want to disconnect the cable. You want to disconnect what caused it to restrict, do a shutdown on that port, and then do a no shutdown on that port to reestablish and to get it connected back up to the right port. But that is port security in a nutshell, and you're free and welcome to download this packet tracer lab and just test it out for yourself with the different modes and see what to do with that. Thank you for viewing. Come on back for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be alerted when we get new videos. Thanks again for watching.